Welcome back to Under Oath. Everyone's into true crime now.
Yeah, man, it's really big.
It's like an addiction. People stare at this stuff 24/7, and they're so enamored with it. And I used to be a criminal defense attorney, so I don't look at true crime the same way. I look at what happens at the end of it.
Yeah.
Not what got you there. I think people are so excited about what got you there.
Well, you saw this a lot. So to you, it wasn't a form of entertainment. It was you seeing people on their worst day. You got to experience and you saw it firsthand.
Yeah, when you every once in a while you'd see somebody who was a truly piece of garbage.
Yes.
And you'd have to represent these people and you'd have to get out there and do your best, which I did. And I was so glad the last day I could stop.
Really?
Yeah.
So that last day for you?
The last day of doing criminal defense for me was like you had just handed me a golden coin.
Got it.
And said, here, you don't have to do this anymore. And all the negativity that was on top of me came out. It was like black smoke leaving my body.
I couldn't imagine the stress of doing that all the time.
It's just the negativity attached to it because you're sitting there and you're victims and everything. And sometimes the guy didn't do it. Sometimes he did do it. Sometimes he didn't do it as bad. So on and so on. But it never left your body. And
I can imagine.
I never had to deal too much with it. Until, years later when I was talking, Christy Martin, the boxer.
Yes, I remember her. Champion.
Yeah. She's a fantastic woman, just a fantastic human being who survived, one of the worst onslaughts of domestic violence in history.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a boxer. This was a woman who could deal with most adversity. And the only problem is her husband was also a boxer and a trainer.
He trained her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she did everything to get away from him. And Christy realized she was gay. She knew early on, but, there was a stigma. She was from a part of the country that, you didn't say you were gay. You could never tell you were gay.
It was still at a time where it wasn't like now where people are out and celebrated for being.
And she was with her girlfriend. She'd gotten away from this abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And he convinced her to go back to the house for some reason. And he stabbed her and shot at her and he leaves her on the floor for dead. And I remember I was talking to her about it and I'm watching her and I'm horrified and I'm going, I got to tell the story. I got to talk about it. And she goes, yes. And he went into the bathroom to clean up. And I asked her, I said, you do realize he was thinking to himself, how do I get rid of the body next?
Yes.
I asked her, what got you off the ground? What got you off the ground?
What did she say?
She said, I wasn't about to lose.
That was the fighter in her.
It was the boxer, yeah.
She
lost her last fight in the ring, but she won her last fight in life.
Look at that. Wow. That's incredible, man.
Yeah. And that was remarkable to me. And when I think of true crime, there has to be a story around it. It just can't be gore. It can't be disgust. And a lot of stories that are out there are disgust and gore. I mean, like Ted Bundy, for example. This guy was just a serial killer. And I think the only reason why we know about him, because he was good looking. And I think this was what happens to us. We somehow look at people who are good looking or famous. And when they kill somebody, we're blown away by it.
Yes.
I mean, like if we want to say the big name, it's one big name.
I want to talk about it.
OJ.
And I'm glad you brought it up because
OJ only killed 2 people. But the most famous murders in the last 100 years. We're talking 2 murders that kept us watching television for a year.
And here's why. Because it came at a time, like you said, celebrity. We couldn't believe a celebrity would do anything wrong. For some reason back then we put these people on pedestals like they didn't have real emotions. They were not flawed individuals. Why would a celebrity kill?
Out of all the interviews, if I only had one interview left, it'd be OJ.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Just to get inside his head.
No, I would like to ask him one question. What's it like to be you today?
And just let him go and let him answer.
To walk into a room, to walk on a plane, to get in an Uber. What is it like to approach somebody who doesn't know you personally?
That's right.
What goes through your head in that first second? And I've tried to have a little bit of empathy when it's come to that because I'm good at that.
Yeah.
I'm good at, being able to tell that story. And if I had to guess, it would have to be, can I trust this person? The moment when I walk up to that person, can I trust this person? Am I in danger?
You mean from OJ's
Am I in
perspective?
danger? Yes.
Okay.
Are they in fear? Am I in danger? Is it a celebrity thing? I come up to every human being that looks to me. Do I recognize the initial face? I mean, how many times do they not realize it's me at first, and then they automatically go to that place?
And you can look at them and tell when that switch happens, when they realize who you are. I mean, because you're OJ.
And I wouldn't ask them, hey, did you do it?
No.
I don't want to talk about the crime. I want to talk about what it's like to walk this planet after something like that.
That's right.
You know, because he's walking the planet.
He is. He's free.
He's
out
doing
there.
He's doing this stuff. You're talking about being involved in the most notorious crime, like I said, in 100 years.
That's right.
So how do we feel? What do we do? What do we do as people when he walks up on us?
You would have to have a feeling of, for a second, I don't even know how you describe the feeling. I don't have I can't articulate what I would feel seeing him.
I'm going to give it to you.
What is it?
You're sitting on your set.
Yeah.
You're at the table.
Mm-hmm.
They say to you, guess what? OJ's doing your show.
Okay.
He walks out.
Mm-hmm.
He does the whole turn thing.
Mm-hmm.
He steps onto the thing. He sits down in the chair, and you look right at him. Now, whatever questions you have lined up, I'm OJ.
Yeah.
What do you say to me?
As a professional.
Watch us. It's good to be with you. Thank you, James, for having me.
And you know what? Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you being here and taking time out of your busy day.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
So, elephant in the room, my friend.
It's always in the room.
Yeah. What is it like to be the second best running back in the NFL?
Oh my God.
That's why they paid me the big
You
bucks.
would. Oh my God. I promise you,
Yeah.
he would lose it.
That was nice, right? Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He would lose it.
Yes.
He would lose it.
Yes.
And that would be the best thing you could.
Yeah.
That'd be the best gift you could ever give him.
Yeah, it would be. Because you know what?
Yeah.
It would serve two purposes.
Wow.
I'm letting go of the tension in the room. I'm not telling him I agree with who you are as a person, but I'm also telling him I'm not here to attack you. We're here to do an interview. Let's get through it.
I can't. Even if I told him, like the dream interviews would be OJ,
Yeah.
followed by Casey Anthony.
Really? Casey Anthony, another good one.
I would love to do that interview because, doing what I do, I know what happened.
Yeah.
Knowing what happened, I know it was a
You can see through stuff that we don't see in the public.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see
don't
exactly.
understand.
I understand the father. I understand her. I've seen these people before. If I had to play this back in my head,
Okay.
what I think absolutely happened was this. Child dies in the pool. Casey loses her mind.
Yes.
Calls her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad is sick beyond belief.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't want to lose his daughter. He's already lost his grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we do. They take the body, they hide the body.
Yeah.
They stick it in the woods, which they found it about 200 yards from her house.
Yeah.
And he goes, keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth shut.
He was an ex-cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut, he says to her.
Mm-hmm.
And because you realize he was starting to have mental problems. He went over to Daytona, got caught in the hotel, suicidal, everything else like that.
He was starting to break down.
And
starting to lose it.
During her trial, she says, oh, my dad, blah, 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 blah. My dad did it. The mother, I don't think, knew anything.
I don't think so either.
And the father didn't tell her.
No.
And I think it probably came out eventually. And if I had to tell my wife eventually, I'd go, if it makes you feel better, our baby didn't suffer. She drowned, and it wasn't heinous. It wasn't bad. And I made a mistake trying to protect my daughter. That's how, in my mind, it's the only way that could have played out.
And I wholeheartedly agree with you. And as a father, to some degree, I can understand trying to protect my child.
Oh, I'm not telling.
Yeah. I understand.
And every
that.
father goes, I would follow the law.
No,
You'd be
wouldn't.
driving your kid to Mexico.
Yes, you would, because that's your baby. That's your
You're
child.
going, listen,
You love him.
there's no point for me to lose both.
No.
the love, both my grandchild and my daughter.
Yeah.
And I get it, I mean, but they're the weird crimes.
I will tell you one that's weird to me because of all the facts that were involved and all the mistakes that were documented that were made. Jeffrey Dahmer. The fact that a man was
That's inhuman, though.
He was living in an area that the city didn't care about. Let's be honest.
Well, that's a lot of cities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we still have a lot of those.
And he knew what he was doing by doing that. One of his victims escaped. The cops found him, and he's like, "This guy's trying to eat me," and they're like, "Come on." This guy's not trying to eat you. And they gave the victim back to Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, just all the things that happened in that case were surreal.
A guy like Dahmer who eats people, you're talking about a level of mental
Crazy.
issues that I don't even know.